What's up out there? We are back with my Behemoth Cyclone build. I am currently level 87. I've been bouncing back and forth between Delve and the mapping section, so I've got 53 of 115 maps filled in so far. I don't have anything to go get these bosses, whatever that vessel is that you capture the bosses. So I have a few issues that I need to get resolved, but I can't resolve them yet because I haven't even dropped one of those things, much less gotten to some of the maps. But I've made it up to tier 10. I did run a red tier map at one point. I had to alch it, which gave me a certain set of affixes, and then I had to vol orbit, and that filled the thing. It wasn't like reflect or anything, but it was stuff that was too thick for me to run. I ended up dying a lot in it. That was a couple of levels ago. I'm probably going to be able to start doing red tier maps. I just don't have any yet. And map sustain is fine, but because I've been focusing on trying to level up and going into Delve, I'll go into Delve and level up, go run maps for a while. I've been trying to improve my gear. So when I started 325 Settlers League, I started it off in Trade League. I basically play as SSF, but I started off in Trade League because I wanted to try the currency exchange. I absolutely love the currency exchange. In this Temp League or whatever we've got, this Challenge League, whatever this thing is, this free shit deal, our characters that we build here are going back to whatever parent league they are. So I started this in trade. So whatever I build up in here is going to go back into trade. So I'm going to have I think this is going to be a berserker. It's another marauder build that I'm going to have to mess around with. So I'll probably do something with that. So basically what I'm doing here, in long explanation, is that I am playing basically SSF here. I haven't started King's March yet. I've got quests. I just realized I have the quest still sitting there. I haven't even started the city yet, so I don't even have the currency exchange. And I like it. I need to go back to SSF. I really like playing that play style. There's a definite, I don't know, I just like playing in it. Having the currency exchange is great because I can go trade off extra divs or something like that and go get all whatever. I can six socket all kinds of things. Like right now with some of the currency I got, I could probably get the town set up and six link all this stuff and be done with it. But it's kind of more interesting to try to attack this whole thing and figure out where to go get stuff and all that kind of thing. So I've been having a blast just playing as SSF, and that's where we are currently. As far as the build goes, so you just watched a big showcase of a bunch of stuff that I did. I think this is really cool. I like having the rampage on it. We'll get back into something here and I'll show off how the rampage works a little bit because I don't like how it tails off at the end, but we'll come back to that. But at any rate, I'm working on crafting this axe. I know it's not necessarily the greatest axe. I alched it, or I'm sorry, oh God, these things, alterations. I was trying to do some alterations on this, and I didn't have very many alterations, and I luckily hit tier 2 flat fizz on this, so I put that on here. And then I was able to craft on the increased physical damage and all that, chance to impale. What I want to do, I don't have the craft unlocked. You got to go to one of the maps and one of the unique maps and complete it to get the craft, but I want to get the craft where you can lock prefixes and then re-roll suffixes off the harvest bench for speed. Because I want to try to get attack speed rolled off of this if I can. And I'm saving up my divines for that. And I've got an exalted that I can use on something. I don't remember if I spent one or not. There was something did it not count? I thought I switched that. Well, all right. So I was going to spend my exalt. I think there's a craft that I wanted to get over here that was going to be good. And maybe I did craft it. Maybe I got another exalt. I don't know. But this is all in progress. I've only got a 5 link. And once I'm able to 6 link this weapon, I'll end up 6 linking Blade Storm. We've got Leap Slam. That's it. It's kind of interesting playing this because you get no spells and basically everything else in this game's a spell. I briefly tried War Cries with Blade Storm for a little bit. I didn't really like having to piano key stuff. And the only reason I want Blade Storm on here is to tie Culling Strike to it. And I actually like this better than Rage Vortex. So in the standard Settlers League or regular Settlers League, whatever you want to call it, I was using Rage Vortex and putting Culling Strike on it. The problem with Rage Vortex is when you throw the thing out, it doesn't just sit in one spot. It actually spirals off into like a projectile almost. It just kind of goes out. I don't really like that. I like this where it just sits in one spot. So what I'm probably going to do, and what I did do, in fact, is I went back to regular Settlers League and swapped out my Rage Vortex to Blade Storm so I don't forget about it, because I want to make that swap. And basically all the jewels or the support gems that I had in there already work with it. So I simply swapped out Rage Vortex for Blade Storm, and I'm going to try the Blade Storm out. I like this a lot better. Basically, it gets that culling strike right where I'm at, and it doesn't like throw it and have to worry about chasing the thing down, or, you know, if you're fighting a monster here and the thing bounces off over here to a wall, it's just kind of out of the way. So that's one improvement that I really like on here. Let's see here. What else do we need to talk about? I've got 6.85 attacks per second, which if I kick off this Onslaught Flask goes up to 7.52. Once you get all the rage and everything going, I think this gets up to 8 or so. It's a decent amount of attacks per second. My DPS is only 53,000. I think POB says I'm about 140,000 DPS, I think, right now with this setup, where everything is. So one thing that I did, I kind of glanced around online to see what other people were doing, or what other people had done with Cyclone builds over the years. And I don't remember what I had in here, but I swapped over to Impale. And I think I saw that 2Odd has a build which is using a mace with Impale and Shockwave. So I'm letting this one cook up in here. I may start something else, or I may just check it out on this. I'm curious to see how this goes. Shockwave and Impale, how that combines together. But the problem is with Shockwave, you have to have it with a mace, a scepter, or a staff. So it's got to be one of these things. So I found a 5-link somewhere along the way. I was like, it's a mace. I'll just try it out and see how that goes. So it's kind of, this build, when it goes back out into regular Settlers League, I may try that and see what I can do with this, with a mace version of this or something on Berserker. I don't know. I'll have a whole other build already leveled up to 87, 89, 90, whatever I get it to. So I'll be able to tinker with this out in regular trade league and have access to a bunch of currency to fix whatever I don't get fixed in here. But at any rate, we are doing good with this, doing good with resistances. I spent a big chunk of time trying to get my resistances sorted out. The only thing I'm really lacking on is Chaos Res, so working on that. And let's see, what else do we need to talk about? The passive tree. I'm still trying to get my 4th lab run done. I just cannot get it done. And I've ran it twice. It's very frustrating. I need to get, I get to the very end and Azaro just leaps over and blasts me. So I need to get this sorted out. I always try to dodge that teleport thing because there's always just so much crap and, you know, flaming floor, spinny discs, all the stuff that's out there. And I don't know. I need to get that finished. But I don't remember where I was at in the last video. I did take Tireless Frenzy. I think I might have had the first two, but I picked up Tireless Frenzy. I like this one. You get 1% increased attack speed per fortification, plus 10 to maximum fortification. So I've got 36 fortification right now. And that's pretty cool. I get a little bit extra attack speed. Like I said, all this kind of builds up my attack speed. POB says that going over to Steel Willed actually does more damage because you're going to get 2% increased attack damage per 450 armor, and you're going to take your mana and convert some of it over into armor, and we're going to try to stack armor a little bit higher and maybe get more damage off of that. Now, mental conditioning is probably where I'm going to get my 4th point. This final blow is just for unarmed, which I'm not doing. Sheer Fury adds plus max rage, which doesn't really do any good for, according to POB, I'm at like 47 rage, I think, and any more rage than this doesn't seem to do any good. So, don't know. I was kind of curious about coming over to this Vol Skills cost rage instead of requiring souls. I thought about doing that. I'm not sure. Not sure. So I've got something on my glove here. I will get into this in a second, but I found there's some, I don't pay attention to all the crafts that pop up when you, or all the options you get when you're unveiling everything. And I noticed there was some cool ones. So I went ahead and put this 58% increased damage with Vol Skills in here. What I was thinking about doing is getting a Cyclone and corrupting it so that there you can get a Vol Cyclone. I was thinking about trying to get one of those and then seeing how that worked and doing extra damage with Vol skills and trying to tinker with that, seeing how that goes. And then I thought this might tie into it because this costs rage instead of souls, cannot gain rage, blah, blah, blah. I thought about tinkering with that. I'm not sure if I want to mess with it or not, but it was a thought. I also thought about these gloves because there is another ascendancy. I don't remember which one it is. The one where you do all the Vol skills. When I get done with this Cyclone build, and we've got another month on this Freesia League, so I'm thinking I might swap these gloves whenever I change these gloves out for whatever they, whatever better version I get. I may go ahead and put these on that other build and see how they do with, because it's like a placeholder, damage with Vol skills. I thought it'd be kind of cool, and I do want to do a build off of the ascendancy with Vol skills. Let's see, what else have we done on here? So I've made a bunch of little changes here and there throughout. I don't remember exactly where I was the other day, but I probably picked up Hatchet Master. I don't remember if I was that far. So we get chance to gain Onslaught for 4 seconds on kill. That is on kill. I need to look at getting a Writhing Jar. I know I have one in Settlers League, which isn't going to help me here, but I need to get one of those because I would like to have permanent Onslaught, and I've got an Onslaught Flask, but I don't have enough Instilling Orbs to get this set to use when full. I'm going to try to get that used when full and try to gain charge on enemy hit and all that. I want to have permanent uptime on Onslaught for bosses because that adds increased attack speed and movement speed, I think. Yeah. So that helps out a little bit. I've gone into Endurance and Frenzy charges. Let's see here. I made sure, I added this one earlier today. 1% increased movement speed per 5 rage. That actually stacks up and I get decent movement speed. As I ramp up, it gets better and better. So it seems pretty cool. And then I've picked up Wrecking Ball because you get increased attack speed, 6% increased attack speed along the way. And then we get more, another 10% increased attack speed. I've been pushing attack speed pretty hard on here. I also took all these fortification wins to get all the extra fortification points. And let's see here. I picked up Lust for Carnage because this gives you increased attack speed along the way and physical damage leached his life. And I was looking online. I saw the Impale builds. I think I talked about this earlier. So I went into Harpooner for increased chance to impale and all that kind of thing. We do have 100% chance to impale. I was over into Brutal Skewering for a little bit because that finished off my chance to impale. But on my weapon, I now have an 18% chance to impale enemies on hit with attacks, which is basically we're getting 6.85 attacks per second. So I'm impaling stuff fairly frequently. I don't need to worry about this one. So I took these points out of here and put them up into this because Slaughter starts giving you increased attack speed over here. And these nodes down here give you 2, 4, 6% increased attack speed. Up here at Slaughter, you get 3, 6 here, and then you get another 3 here plus 8. So you get a lot more attack speed up in this realm, and you get some extra damage, gain rage on hit, and stuff like that. Let's see, is there anything else we need to talk about here? I need to see. I don't know if I can do this or not. No, I can't do that. I was going to see if I could pull that point out and do something else with it. I was thinking about picking up Harvester of Foes because that gives you increased damage with axes. Axes deal 30% damage, 12% increased impale effect. So I was thinking about coming over into that, moving like this strength node over to here. I was going to free that up, move that strength node, kind of bounce around and start going into that route. I am level 87, so I'm not exactly sure where I want to go with this further. I was looking at like adding +7 to max rage, but this is kind of where my Berserker build got in regular Settlers League. Adding more rage doesn't improve my damage at this point. According to POB, it's like cut off. There's no reason to go further. And I don't know if that's because I've got frenzy charges or like I'm already at like a soft cap and I just can't get any further with it. I'm not sure. So I was thinking about taking the +7 to max rage, but I'm not going to do that. I was kind of looking around. We could go into martial experience for sure. I could come back down in here to brutal skewering. There's not really other, like, these other impales just give you a chance to impale, so it's not really worth coming over to this. And this one over here, there's not really, like, this gives you an increased impale effect, but you get an increased chance to impale. I don't really need that. I did consider coming over if I had fire damage. Well, for one, if I didn't have brutality, because this means no elemental damage, but I thought about coming over here to get burning brutality because you get, chance to ignite. You get 3% increased attack speed here, and 6% here. So that's another 12% increased attack speed. I thought about coming over to that. I also thought about swinging way over here to Fleetfoot to get increased movement speed. But since I've taken this here to get 1% increased movement speed for per 5 rage, plus the onslaught and everything else that I got going on, I don't really think I need that. Let's see here. Let's go do some Delve, because Delve is the easiest way to show this. Basically, I'm pretty happy with my passive tree the way it is, and I don't know exactly. I can put some other things into some damage. I could maybe look into, I don't know, going over into, we could come down into barbarism. We could go into extra endurance charges for sure. Probably should go into Juggernaut and get increased life and armor. Probably should do that. That's probably the best route, actually. Maybe that's what I'll do. But there's plenty of options to go into. I don't know exactly, like nothing really jumps out at me and says, hey, these are where the next points go. There's a lot of options and a lot of places that I can go. So that's pretty much, I don't know. Juggernaut's probably where I'm going to go into this. Okay, so as we're killing things, you're going to notice that there's a big explosion that comes off at 100 kills. Right about 200 kills, we start doing massive explosions, like corpse explosion type stuff. That goes on up until about 400, 500 kills. Then you start sending off the fireworks. And you still keep doing the corpse explosion stuff. And that's why it's easier to show here. This lasts up until about 600, 700 kills. Then I usually run out. After 700 kills, whenever those explosions stop, you're not doing anything anymore as far as... hopefully I don't die here. These things have a tendency of killing me at times. But as you get further into that, and once you get into 1,000 kills, once you've maxed out, basically maxed out your Cyclone, or Rage, I should say. Rampage. Once you've maxed out your Rampage, and so we're at 8 attacks per second. We'll watch that here in a second, see how that thing ramps up. Did I get that? Yeah, I did get that. Okay, so... we're at 6.85. Let's watch the attacks per second on this, see how this goes. Movement speed is plus 22%. I'll show the movement speed here in a second, see how far that ramps up. But as we get into big packs, come on, give me some packs here. We need to kill stuff. We're getting 8.85 attacks per second, and it's just dying off. Usually there's a lot more monsters in here. Normally I can get that big corpse explosion going off. Okay, we'll just do it here then. So as you build up your Rampage, you get to about 100 kills. See, this needs to really have a lot more monsters in it. Once you get up to 100, somewhere in that realm, you start doing those explosions. Not the firework kind, but like see, we'll have to go do a different one. This is not very impressive. You need a lot of monsters on the screen to make this thing look good, and it actually starts slowing my GPU down. But we're at 8.4 attacks per second, 9.01, so... as this ramps up, 390 kills. Let's see, can we get further? Now the fireworks are going off. 500, 600 kills. And we're at 9.01. That's the best that it's gotten. I have to see what it does when we get up to... probably should go do this, but I'll go do this one here. So... getting 9 kills per second is pretty cool. I think on POB, it's if I get to 100 plus 100%, I can get like 11 attacks per second, which sounds crazy. But let's see, we've got Onslaught is on, still doing damage. Big explodies. You can see how that all trails off once it starts exploding. Let's see, can we go kick this thing off and get kills before... No, we're going to reset. I want to try to get to 1,000 kills. I don't know what my actual attack speed is yet. I made a bunch of changes before I started recording this, and I didn't actually go clock everything. But I'm kind of curious as to how much it does now. Not so much damage-wise, but as far as attacks per second. It looks like 9.01 is it, but we haven't fully ramped up all the kills yet. So we're cycling through all the different kills. Oh, almost bit it on that one. And did I just kill everything off? Yeah, I did. We are not... This is not working out like I wanted to. All right, fine. We'll go down here. I know there's going to be a lot down here. Open this thing back up. But the more rampage you get, what I was trying to illustrate is at a certain point you get like the corpse explosions like this. This is where the corpse explosions come out. As you keep pushing into rampage, you're going to start getting the fireworks that come out. And then as you keep going, you can keep the explosions going up through about 700-800 kills. And then at some point, I usually run out of bodies to stop blowing up, I guess. But at a certain point, once you're up at 1,000, yeah, okay, 9.01 is the best attack speed I'm going to get. And that's fully 1,000 rampage. It's not getting any better than that. So we're getting 1,000 or 9.01 attacks per second. That's not bad. And it picks up, I don't know, what, 400 or 500 kills? I don't know if I'm hitting a cap, like I can't go any further, or if that's some limitation. But based on stats that I've got. Throw that Culling Strike out, finish that thing off. And we're doing 123,000 DPS on tooltip. And we are at 121% movement speed. So, I don't know. I think it's pretty fun. I like this. I like this build. It may not be the greatest build. It's definitely got some... it's got some room to grow, for sure. I need a much better weapon. I need much better gear. But I'm pretty excited with it. This has been a lot of fun. I like Cyclone a lot. And playing this without having to worry about any of the mana stuff and getting all these explosions, like, it's kind of impressive to see this thing go off. And I don't know if you can actually scale Rampage at all, like the explosions off of it. Like, I don't know if that scales, if that's explosions based on the monsters or if that's based on your weapon damage or what it is. Because the firework thing doesn't look like it does all that much damage, to be honest with you. And see, now I'm not getting the explodies going on, so I have to basically eat, or I don't get, I have to just do DPS. Strike that thing out of here. Come on, die. That thing is annoying. All right, get that thing out of here. And we'll do this. It's almost better to if you've got breathing room, it's almost better to let your rampage stop completely about 700-800 kills. I guess this is what I'm trying to drive at. It's better to just let your rampage drop completely once you get 700 or 800 kills, because then you're not getting the explosions anymore. Or let it reset so you do get the explosions back. Because now, for clearing, I guess, once you're fighting a boss or something, and I haven't got to fight a boss yet. I mean, aside from map bosses and things like that, like I haven't got to fight, I wonder if that Titan plate's going to be any good. I haven't got to fight Eater or Exarch yet. I've unlocked the ability to go get the Eater, but I didn't want that. But I haven't unlocked the ability to get the Exarch yet. So that is where the build is currently. And, I wanted to show off, before I forget about this, I wanted to show this because I didn't know these existed. Whenever I go unlock crafting options from Jun, I unlock the ones that I care about, and then I don't really pay attention to the rest. So it was kind of interesting to see these pop off because I've been looking for specific ones. Like I knew there was Flat Fizz and I know there's physical to attacks, all that kind of stuff. I know those exist. I knew we had the increased Fizz with Chance to Impale because I used that a lot. The bleeding one, I actually thought about putting the bleeding one on instead of the Impale one, but so I'd get a chance to cause bleeding and maybe do a little bit more damage, but I opted for the Impale one so that I could free up some of those passive tree nodes and move over into the other side where the other axe one is that I showed. I guess I didn't realize there was one for blind and one for poison. I didn't know there was a chance to poison in here. And then let's see here. There was another one that was pretty cool. I usually go for 24% increased movement speed, but I didn't realize there was one for increased movement speed and increased movement speed if you haven't been hit recently. I thought that was kind of cool. And I also found this one too. I guess I never paid attention to this. Increased movement speed with a 100% chance to avoid being chilled. Chilled really sucks because it makes you move slow. Let's see here. The other one that I thought was pretty cool is, I don't know that I've ever really paid attention to this one. It's +1 level of socketed melee skills, and then it says plus 0.2 meters to melee strike range. Melee strike range actually increases every, I think it's 0.1 increases your cyclone by 10%. So while this says the word strike, it actually does increase, and it says it right on here. Increased area of effect per 0.1 meter additional melee strike range. So I don't know if this, I know this says socketed melee gems, so that would have to be socketed. I think this is gloves or helmet. But I wonder if that 0.2 meters to melee strike range includes all the build. So I thought about putting that into either the helmet or gloves. Again, I went with the vol skill thing because I wanted to check that out, but I was thinking about that. That's not bad. I also don't have the 4 chaos to put on it either. The other one that I thought was really cool, if I could spell it correctly, is this one. And this goes on to a weapon. So I would need to get a completely different weapon, but this gives you a 10% chance to trigger level 1 blood rage when you kill an enemy and increased attack speed. So I'm saving my Exalt for this. I think I want to try it once, if I can ever get a better axe that has all the stuff on it and a piece to craft this suffix on, or a place to craft this on. I think this might be kind of cool. So Blood Rage is a spell, and I think, and I can't use it, pretty sure it's a spell, and this would give me the option to use that. Let's see here if I can spell correctly here. Blood Rage is a spell. So that would actually give me Blood Rage, and I would need to start accounting for more life regen and stuff like that to use Blood Rage, but I could get attack speed and Blood Rage out of it. I'm kind of thinking about trying that. I just don't have the weapon I want to try it on, because if I take it on this, I lose 103% increased fizz damage, and that is not an option that I want to do. So I need to get a really good axe at some point and see if I can craft that on and try it out and see how it goes. I may take some craptacular axe. If I get another Exalt chilling in here, I may take another axe and tinker around with it. This axe here is the axe that I was using before I got this one. This one is item level. Actually, this is item level 81. I could probably re-roll this into something better. How did I get an item level 81 item? At any rate, I don't know how I got this thing at item level 81 because I don't think I've been that far in, but whatever, wherever I dropped it, probably Delve. I had this thing crafted up and I was using it for a while. This has increased or flat cold damage, and my Ice Crash build is cold damage. So I'm going to try this out whenever I get over to working on that build again. I'll try that out and see how this axe works over there because it's got cold damage in it. And the other thing that I want to hit on before we wrap all this up, I actually like this idle system. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. Now, to be very perfectly crystal 100% clear, I do not want the idle system to replace the Atlas tree. I like the Atlas tree. That is the way I want to stick with that. But I would not be opposed if they put an option into, I'm sure they're probably not going to do this, but where you select your character and whether you're doing SSF or Trade League or all that, whatever you're going to do, I would not be opposed to an option of selecting between the Atlas tree and the idle system. I know they're going to add it as a custom private league or whatever, but I would not be opposed to this being an option. So like if I wanted to play Trade League with this and then play SSF with the Atlas tree, I could do that. I wouldn't mind doing that. I don't hate this system. It's not great. It's not bad. It's different. It's kind of interesting in some ways. The things that I like about the Atlas tree is that I can set exactly what I want. I can say I want this, this, and this, and I can go do those. The weird thing about the Atlas tree, though, is when I set something up, like a bossing build, I'll usually put like stuff for Delve or essences and all that in there. I feel weird when I skip those because it's like, well, I put these in my tree and now I'm skipping them. So I try to do things that I would do not be inclined to skip. With this system, I don't care. Whatever comes in there, I go in for a specific thing. Like I've been getting all kinds of blight stuff and I just ignore it. I don't even go into it. But I'll get, the harvest stuff. I'll sometimes go into those or won't go into them. I've been doing a lot of Jund missions. It's easy. You don't have to worry about unmakings and all that stuff. You just unsocket it and go back to the thing. You could swap them out. I kind of like this system. It's not bad. Well, let's just say I don't hate it. That's all I got. I don't hate it. Like I said, I don't want to see it replace the Atlas tree by any way, shape, or form, but I don't know. It's not a bad system. I can dig it. I enjoy it for this month or two league that we've got. But at any rate, that is the update that we have for this video, or that's what I've got for now. Steadily chugging along. Build is doing fairly well. I'm pretty pleased with it. I just need to get better gear and keep pushing further into the mapping system. But that's where we're at. That's going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.